to V-League Center, your #1 source for highlights, stats, and stories from the nation's premier Escatón Professional Basketball League. From buzzer beaters to behind the scenes, if it's V-League, it's right here. This is V-League Center.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the United States of America, man, oh man, what a season this V-League year has been. And I am grateful to have the man, the myth, the legend, who's going to be doing a whole lot of promoting. I'm just giving you a heads up, but absolutely excited because I've followed the journey of his team, not only this year, but last year. I've had the privilege to interview and celebrate many of your players as most valuable players of the week. I've gotten to literally get to know a few of them on a personal level. So I have some soft spots for some of your players, but I can say that you have one of the best well-executed organizations in the V-League, from business, from operations, and overall, which is phenomenal to have and set the standards with, which I appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the general manager himself of the Virginia Neptunes, Ed Huckaby, the team that as of right now is, I believe, 9-1. They only lost to the DMV Warriors.
10-1.
10-1. I apologize. He's like, don't chop me up. 10-1. And what I'm more excited about is the momentum that they've been carrying this whole season, the excitement that they've achieved this whole season, and absolutely looking forward to here. So first and foremost, Ed Huckaby, welcome to the show, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your time today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm
Absolutely.
excited to be here.
I bet. So let's get into the very first things first. I gotta go back and I had Beltway Bombers owner and head coach Chaz Dudley yesterday. We talked about the Final Fours a little bit. How much of a momentum did that Final Four add onto what already has been an electrifying season for the Virginia Neptunes?
In terms of the Final Four from last year?
No. Just in terms of heading to the Final Four. How much was that doubleheader that we had 2 weeks ago of a boost, of a confidence to the team as a whole?
That right there was huge for us. Now, we had been trying to play Beltway for 2 years in the whole season in the regular season. It just happened to work out that way. Because we recognize them as a very, very talented team. We recognize ourselves a very talented team. And when we went up, we split. Those back-to-backs are tough, just like in the NBA and DMV. Closed it out in the fourth quarter. We had a few injuries and some guys down, but, that's part of the game, and you need to be able to finish those games. We didn't. We split. And I think I was worried about the DMV game because I know so much emotion went into that Beltway game. And even with the Beltway game, I'll get into that a little later when you ask some questions. From my experience, I never doubted that we'd win that game. You asked me that before.
For me on not just as, obviously, not as a GM and bias to the fact that you believe in your players, but what gave you that factual, I know for a fact we're going to win this game?
I think, we have arguably the best lead guard in the league in Cam Bako. We have, in my opinion, will be the league MVP this year in Jaleel Nelson. In fact, I'm sure of that. And it's just a number of guys that we have played professionally overseas that are back now playing. If you look at our roster, the way we constructed it, and I think I sent you a copy of the roster. Think about it. We got a bunch of 6'7", 6'8" wing players, not one or two, but the roster is just littered with them, two-way guys. So when we constructed this roster, I wasn't thinking about constructing the roster to beat a specific team. I just said, you need this type of roster to actually get through 2 days of teams playing their best basketball of the year. Regardless of how you're playing in November, December, January, you have to hit your stride starting late February, which we did going into obviously late March. With all my years experience coaching, it's just like now the NCAA tournament's going on. Some years ago, I was preparing scouting reports, for our opponent in the NCAA tournament. So this is nothing new to me. But the only thing you can focus on is the opponent in front of you. And right now, Savannah Hurricanes is the most important game we're going to play all year.
So let's talk about the the preparation, I believe, when we talked about it for the doubleheader 2 weeks ago, and I'm focusing on the Beltway Bombers because there's a lot of talk and a lot of hype about, hey, this is going to happen. This is the year that the Beltway Bombers and the Neptunes are going to be, the favorites. And I understand why people tend to fall into the trap of the favorite statements because of stats, because of dominance. The Beltway Bombers and the Virginia Neptunes have literally had week in and week out, the most consistent amount of MVP of the week players that came out this season. So it's arguably, dominance from both ends, and it became this rivalry, if you will. And I think, from the very opener of the season, when I spoke to AJ, I spoke to Coach Stretch, last year losing on the Final Four for the Virginia Neptunes absolutely started this season. It was an unfinished business from that Final Four last season.
Well, if you go back to last year, here's what happened. Regular season, we dominated Savannah Hurricanes. Dominated twice. We get to the semis, and the Hurricanes, to their credit, Coach Wilson, his guys, they just played phenomenal. And we lose a close game. But prior to that, in the regular season, we had Beltway. We're up 9 with a minute and like 20-something seconds to go and couldn't finish with free throws. And to Beltway's credit, they got it to overtime and won it, so they deserve to win the game. Because I don't make excuses when we lose. But I don't want to hear excuses from the other side when we win. I don't want to hear about certain guys weren't there or somebody. I don't want to hear all that. You lost. Just like if we lose, we lost. So that being said, I'd be lying to you if I said, yeah, I don't have Beltway on my mind. But I am really, really focused. I know Coach Stretch is. That's why I'm talking today. He doesn't want to talk about anything but Savannah. That's all he's focused on. And the players are just focused on Savannah because we have, like I said, we have a lot of pros, experienced pros that understand the only opponent you need to worry about is the one in front.
Next. Yep.
One
of the things that one of the things you mentioned just a little bit earlier, you've mentioned that I knew that we were going to win against the Beltway Bombers, but I was worried about that DMV game because we put so much energy into the Beltway Bombers. How do you avoid doing the same exact thing in this Final Four coming up, because you have a back-to-back potential games? So how do you manage the energy? How do you manage the efforts? How do you manage the focus on, not having the same thing happen again?
Well, a couple of things. One, we're 100% healthy. It's different. Two, we went through the experience of back-to-backs, which we had done before, but the guys understand you're playing back-to-back. Let's just worry about this game, and then we'll focus on the next one. So it wasn't so much of, let's focus on this game. And I think part of it, too, we handled DMV the first time we played them. But DMV came ready to play. It's like any league, whether you go from NBA on down, it's just like the NFL says, any given Sunday.
Absolutely.
Well, for us, any given Saturday, because anyone can beat anyone on any given day if the circumstances are right. Yeah. So we're not going to run into that problem whether we're, playing back-to-backs. Trust me. That right there won't even be a factor. We'll let somebody else worry about that. But for us, we'll be focused on Savannah, and then we'll deal with Sunday. Lord willing, we're playing Sunday. We'll deal with Sunday when Sunday comes.
Yeah. The DMV Warriors definitely came back because I remember the very first 4 weeks the first 4 games, I should say, of the season. They had a brutal start. I mean, it was, I remember I even interviewed Coach Bullock, and he told me straight up, he goes like, we have, 80% new faces, and they got to learn how to collaborate and play together. A very, very young roster. And here they are. Making it to the Final Four. What is your anticipation as far as the contenders? And I'm not trying to have you put, a ranking on who are you looking forward or fearing the most. Maybe fear is the wrong word, but who do you think is going to be a surprise on the other leg of the Final Four, in your opinion, based on what the league has shown?
I think the surprise team will be DMV for this reason. Just like you said, they had a slow start. Yeah. And they found a groove, and they, started gelling. And DMV is going to be a tough out for Beltway. And they're going to be a tough out for anyone, because on any given day, Like against us, I think they shot over 68% from the floor.
Yeah.
They shot deep. They couldn't miss. And these are contested shots. I just think they're just a dangerous team. They're playing with house money. Nobody's picking them to win. Nobody's, looking at them as
and we've seen that during the season. That's literally what my point is. Like, no one had, it was almost written off. The Steel City Reapers were making a little bit of noise. They were just inconsistent, but they shocked us in a couple of times. Wait, they won? So the fact that the DMV Warriors are in the Final Four. And look, I wouldn't sleep on Savannah Hurricanes either. Obviously, they're experienced. I think they had to figure some things out this season compared to the last. But, I think I'm anticipating two mega dogfights, as I hear you guys say all the time on Saturday.
Let me tell you about Savannah. Man, they're going to play hard. They're well coached. It's a rivalry between the two of us, and they shoot a ton of threes. So it's feast or famine, and they're tough. They are tough, and we're not going to underestimate them. I don't think we did last season, but one caveat, they beat us. They knocked us out last year. So this is after, we had a great run. I think we came in the finals 11-1. So this is 2 years in a row where we're coming in with a great record, we're performing, but it still comes down to just how do you perform on that particular day? I think I told you that when we were preparing to play Beltway. I said, how do you perform on that particular day? Who executes the best? Who executes the most? Who is more inclined to take care of the ball? Just the small things. And I thought that actually when we played Beltway, when you had asked me about that, I just confident in the game, but I felt like we controlled the game because even when we fell behind early, I looked at it like, you know what, we're going to be all right. But Savannah's the same thing. Savannah could be down 20, and next thing you know, it's a one-possession game because they're putting up threes, man.
Yeah.
And they put them up in bunches and in a hurry, and they play hard. So it's going to be interesting. I think you'll see two different type of Final Four games. I think DMV and Beltway are more of a grind type thing, and I think our game will be more up and down with Savannah.
Yeah, one of the things that I appreciated, after the was it last week or 2 weeks ago, you and I talked for a bit, and you said, well, look, if we were going to get a loss, the first loss of the season, I'm okay that it's on the regular season and not on the actual championship game.
Yeah, I did say that. Say that. So it's one of those things. It's like.
So let me dive into after you guys beat the Beltway Bombers, Coach Stretch stated when I asked him what does this mean to you guys, he said it means two things. It means first things first, you Beltway Bombers are not the best in the league. We are. And the second thing is this is a preview and we're expecting you in 2 weeks in the final championship game. And obviously emotions were running high. I asked Coach Chaz about it. And, again, he stated emotions are high. He said, I heard it. My players are heard it, and it's duly noted. As the GM of the team, obviously, you're not going to sit here and tell me like your team is not the best. But what do you think from stat sheet or record or overall, what makes the Neptunes the best team of the league this season over any other team?
I think, personnel-wise, we're a tough matchup. We're built for playoffs. Going to the statements that Coach Stretch made, like you said, it's emotions. But I will sit here and tell you as a GM, I'm not going to ask him to walk those statements back. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, Beltway is, king of the hill or something. I recognize Beltway as the defending champion, the current champion, until somebody dethrones him. And I expect us to be the champions, the new champions. I'm not, it goes back to, again, it's the way this roster is constructed. We have a great coaching staff, and the chemistry of everything going on and off the court with us is just, it's fitting. And I'm, and when they say duly noted, you can quote me on this, noted. I mean, we're not walking the statement back. I look at it like this is Ali Frazier, and I Ali was my guy, and Muhammad Ali, that is, you're my guy too. But I'm saying, I'm not going to walk back that we think we're the best, and I don't want them to walk back to think they're the best. We won a regular season game. That I will agree with. That's what we did. We won that one game, and we look forward to Savannah Hurricanes. I'm gonna keep.
I hear you on that. I'll put a pin on that. We'll leave that one there. Give us a for the fans and for the guests, players, and teams that are coming into your home, because you are hosting this year's Final Four. What are we anticipated from atmosphere, from gym style, from sponsors, from amenities? Give us an idea. What are we expecting?
It's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. We've given out over 600 tickets. Percosin High School has been great, where the finals will be held at. Jeremy Jordan, the head basketball coach at Percosin High School, has been tremendous help, as Tyler McMillan and their administration. I mean, everything is just laid out there. It's going to be a great afternoon because, we tip at 12-2. We're going to give away some money prizes. We'll probably give away a few prizes that I know you got up your sleeve. So I know we have things that in place, great hospitality room for our VIPs, such as yourself and your families, and just the whole professional atmosphere that we will have. But we have a huge kids group coming in. So we're looking forward to putting on not a show just for a game per se, but I mean to feature the entire league, because I really believe this league can grow. This league has issues like any other new venture, which, we'll all talk about when it's over with. But the one issue I don't think the league has is that your top half teams compete. I mean, these guys compete. They don't just, we just go through.
It's not a pickup game or a rec game. It's truly basketball. And just to your credit on that one, the owner of the Virginia Black Vipers, who they are the new team in the league this year. I mean, I had a conversation with him this week, and I was like, what's the biggest aha moment that you had? What was the biggest wow factor that you experienced? And here's literally what he said. He was like, my players thought this was rec basketball. They thought they were going to come in and have a good time and sweat it out. He goes, like, they realized real quick, we're playing NBA level here. I was like, welcome to the league, baby.
Yep. I told him that. I said when, and I kind of mentor him, but I said, the first thing you have to do is you got to get your infrastructure together. You get that together, then now you can build a roster from there. You can't just say, I'm going to go get some guys. I mean, because like if people watch us play Beltway, or they watch us play Savannah, or Savannah play Beltway, or, you see there's something different, or DMV, play DMV. There's something different because Ben Bullock and Tierra have done a great job on building that, because Ben got the job late. So he built it. He didn't have time in the fall to have his fall camp and things like that. And it's going to be scary how good they're going to be next year when Ben has them from fall camp all the way through to the start of the season. But you're right. He thought it would be rec league. And look at some of the scores we've had. I'm not talking about just us, but I'm talking about some of the scores Beltway's had. It's not that we played some nobodies, but when you can't play at a certain level that we play at, we're not going to ask our players to just stop playing.
I get it. Yeah.
They're trying to get contracts somewhere else. And, it's like when we played the Steel City Reapers. I was
157. It was 158 to 87.
Something like, I mean, it just, I don't even think they had 87. I think it was put it like this.
I can tell you it was almost double the score.
Yeah. The game got away, and I didn't like that. I want competitive games. And obviously I want to win every game, but I think even they found out I got to up the level of player that I've got to get. But am I suggesting to all these new teams joining the league, when you look at the Virginia Neptunes, the Beltway Bombers, and the Savannah Hurricanes, the first thing you want to do is look at their infrastructure. Don't look at the roster, look at the infrastructure. And that's how you build. You know that you're a successful businessman. You just can't go do the business. You got to have an infrastructure in place. It's like a building. If you don't have the foundation and the infrastructure, how's the building going to
fall apart eventually? Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, we obviously got an amazing weekend ahead of us. What is your message to your roster, to your players, to your staff, and for a hell of a season. What is your thoughts to your team?
Congratulations on the regular season, and have fun in the playoffs and winning this championship. I'm confident with us, but I understand we have the utmost respect for Savannah because that's going to be a tough out. And so we can't even get to the second game because if you don't take care of the first game, you're going to be a spectator in the second game. I want to be busy in the second game. I don't want to be a spectator in the second game. But we'll have our hands full. But I'm looking forward to having everyone out. I encourage people to come out to the game. You'll see high-level basketball. These are some high-level players that have played in the Big Ten, Big East, the A-10. I mean, these guys have played different places. And, they played in the ACC. So you're talking high-level basketball and high-level talent. And I'm not just saying to push that to the league, but like any other league, we have, as you know, the top end is heavy and the bottom has got to catch up.
Yeah.
And the only way that bottom catches up, they have to do the things that they compete with the top half of the league. That's why I love the Premier League. Every Saturday morning, I'm on it, baby, because the Premier League.
I know you were in. I didn't know you were in it. You're talking my world now. I'm all about.
Oh yeah, the Premier League. What got me started was watching. I watched soccer off and on, but man, the World Cup 8 years ago, and that doggone Ronaldo, man. That is my guy. But my next guy coming up is Mbappe. And I watch it. So I watched the League One, the French League, and I watched the Premier League. And I like what the Premier League does when they relegate teams. You gotta, there's a certain level you have to play at. So I understood all that, and I love watching Premier League. I watched that in preparation of how to get our basketball organization to where we need to be. And that's my message I would say to the teams that didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, you need to, pick our brains, take notes, but look at the infrastructure and things that are in place and watch some Premier League and League One. Watch it. I said, because these guys know there's a lot at stake more than just winning a match. As you know, you follow soccer, and, as they say, football there. And man, I crack up with some of these teams. I look at it, man, that are going to be relegated. And I always ask myself, I said, dang on, I wonder how the players feel. I said, dang, you're about to be relegated down. And hey, that's it. But that's my message, man. And what you do, I know the media part of it will be great. The interviews, all this stuff. We got it all set up, and we have taken a lot of time out to make sure this thing is going to be right. And last year, we really liked what Chaz did when Beltway hosted it, but we think we want to continue to build on that. And, it's not a contest who can do the best. Because I want, if we win, the V League wins. The V League wins, we win. And it's a team thing. I like what Commissioner Andre Vaughn says. Not competition, but cooperation.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think that is exactly what we need. But what you've done, I'll wrap it up with this. What you've done for the league this year, and I'm looking forward to the owners' meetings and going into next year, has been great because you've treated it as if you're in the NBA. And that right there has not gone by the Virginia Neptunes. I'm telling you, we really took note of that. And that was one of the reasons I said, I'll do this interview because I didn't want, part of it too, I didn't want Stretch to get too excited. Man, I'll do it. He's excited though. He's ready. And I know Chaz is ready. I know Chaz hates losing. So Chaz right now this year, I'll just leave it as you're 0-1 against us, man. But overall, we're 1-1. So it's not like, they've dominated us. That just hasn't, and we haven't dominated them. These are two teams that are equally matched.
Yeah. Well,
equally matched. And if I put a plug in right now, I would say if I picked an all-league team, Lil Nelson would be first team. He'd be player of the year. Xavier Green for the Virginia Neptunes would be first team. AJ Cox would be first team. James Sinclair would be first team. And probably Brett Arrington
I was going to say, I would be surprised if you didn't say Brent Arrington. Yeah,
Brent Arrington. I think A.J. Cox is their best player, though.
Yeah.
He's their best player. But Brent Arrington, I would say that is your first team all V-League. And, message, they can quote me, some of the coaches, don't send in inflated stats. Not when the game doesn't match what the stats I'm looking at doesn't match the game result. No. You can't, lose a game by 50 or 73 points. And then you're claiming I got the top 4 scores or something like that. I'm like, well, that means the other team must have, So I'm saying it. So they quote me on it. It's on record. And, but I think that is our first team all league. I think our executive of the year is Dre Thompson over at the Virginia Beach Black Vipers. And I think he's our executive of the year, and our coach of the year is Stretch Johnson. That's the coach of the year. He is proven record wise and what he's done in the season. And I think that's my vote. Those are my votes.
I love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss out this weekend's Final Four, where we are fighting for bragging rights. Saturday, March 21st at 12 p.m. Obviously, we got the Beltway Bombers that are going at the DMV Warriors, and of course, the hosting team, Virginia Neptunes, against the Savannah Hurricanes. And then again on Sunday will be the championship game at 2 p.m. Make sure you purchase your tickets at NeptunesVA.com. That is NeptunesVA.com. Adults only $10, and students are to enter for free. And it will be hosted in the Pecossin High School in 51 Odd Road, Pecossin, Virginia. And here's the best part. There will be so many giveaways, so much entertainment, so much fun. Yep. We're going to also be giving away a 2-night, 3-day, all-inclusive trip to the Caribbean or somewhere in South America. That is food, that is your stay, and that is, of course, your beverage as well. We may be giving away 4 of those depending on what Coach Huckaby allows us to do. But until
we'll give away the 4. I tell you what, the other thing is too. I know we could talk all day. The other thing is that unfortunately we had our color guard. So just to let everyone know, they canceled all color guard, junior color guard, all color guard because we had that shooting down here at Old Dominion University. Yeah. So they have now. And there's no color guard going on this weekend, but we have someone singing the national anthem, and we'll all be all inclusive there. We're ready to go, man. I'm looking forward to having you down, and we'll be talking Friday night, and we're ready to go. We are ready to go.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, appreciate you and love you. This is V-League Center. My name is Ali Madawi. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ali. Appreciate it.
What's something people don't know about the next-gen streaming platform? Imagine a world where streaming isn't just about broadcasting your content, but about creating an entire universe for your audience to explore. Virtuoverse is here to revolutionize content creation. Traditional streaming is outdated. With Virtuoverse, you can step into a new dimension of interaction and creativity. Host events, create content, and engage your audience in a whole new way. Virtuoverse brings next-level virtual experiences where you're not just a creator, you're an innovator. Create your own virtual stage with stunning visuals and real-time engagement. Stream, monetize, and grow, all in one powerful platform. Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or a game changer, Virtuoverse is your stage. Imagine having the tools to not only share your passion, but also to turn it into a thriving business. With Virtuoverse, you can track your growth, engage with your audience in real time, and celebrate your milestones like never before. Ready to level up? Join the revolution in content creation and entertainment. Open a free account today and start your journey towards becoming a virtual pioneer. The future of streaming is here, and it's called Virtuoverse. Don't just stream, create, innovate, and captivate your audience like never before. Join Virtuoverse today and redefine what it means to be a content creator. Virtuoverse integrates seamlessly with your favorite social media platforms, making it easier than ever to share your content and grow your audience. Engage with your followers, receive instant feedback, and build a community around your passion. And here's the game changer. Virtuoverse pays you for watching, adding, and commenting on other people's content. Turn your engagement into earnings and make every interaction count. Virtuoverse is not just a platform, it's a thriving ecosystem where everyone benefits. Join Virtuoverse today and be part of the future of streaming. Create, share, and earn like never before. Virtuoverse, where your creativity meets endless possibilities. Sign up at Virtuoverse for free today.
Welcome to V-League Center, your #1 source for highlights, stats, and stories from the nation's premier Escatson Professional Basketball League. From buzzer beaters to behind the scenes, if it's V-League, it's right here. This is V-League Center.